Maybe.
Maybe 7.
Good morning. We haven't heard that gong in a while, have we? I thought it was especially appropriate for today. I'd like to welcome all of you here in the sanctuary and to those at home watching on Facebook Live. Our pavilion streaming is under repair at the moment, so we don't have anyone to say hello to out on the pavilion. My name is Steve Espinosa. I've been a member of this congregation for 12 years. And it's a great pleasure to be your worship associate today as our minister, Tony Fisher, is away this week. Whether you are here for the first time or have been a part of this congregation for many years, we are glad you are with us today. We gather as a community of seekers, thinkers, and doers, each on our own spiritual journey, but bound together by our shared values of love, justice, and compassion. As a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we embrace diversity in all its forms. We welcome people of every background, belief, identity, and life experience, recognizing that our strength comes from openness to one another. Here, there is no single path to truth, only the light we bring to one another as we explore the mysteries of life together. If you are new to us and would like to know more about all the happenings here at UUCGN, please join us for coffee on our patio after the service, as there are many who would like to show you around and provide you with ways to stay connected. This morning, our guest speaker is Andy Solis. Many of you already know Andy, but for those of you that don't, here's just a very brief summary of his background. There was a full bio published in our weekly email blast this week. And Andy's wife, Jan, is also with us. Please welcome her too. Yes. Andy is a Zen teacher, attorney, and former Collier County Commissioner whose life and work beautifully reflect today's theme, inclusion in a world of exclusion. He has been a dedicated mindfulness and meditation practitioner since the 1970s and was ordained into the Order of Interbeing by Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh in 2009. In 2020, he received Dharma transmission, becoming a recognized Zen teacher in the open mind Zen tradition. During his time on the Collier County Commission, including as chair in 2017, Andy was a powerful advocate for mental health, helping to shape the county's first strategic plan on behavioral health and addiction, and championing the creation of a much-needed central receiving facility. Now retired from law, Andy continues to guide others in mindfulness and compassionate engagement through his interfaith and Zen teaching. He is a member of the Lay Zen Teachers Association, the White Plum Asanga, and the Interfaith Alliance of Southwest Florida. Welcome, Sensei Andy. It's so good to have you and Jan with us today. Now let's all settle in. Let's take a deep breath as we prepare to receive today's message with a morning prelude. Thank you, Sean and Abby. That's gorgeous. For the opening words, I found this thoughtful reflection by Unitarian minister and writer Tracy Robinson Harris. It's titled, "What's the Clamoring For?" In conversations about the initiative for greater diversity, our Unitarian Universalist Association wide commitment to become more inclusive, one of the questions that inevitably arose was, what do we want diversity for? What is our motivation? Perhaps it is guilt over the injustices of racism, heterosexism, classism. A commitment to diversity would make me feel better. That is less guilty. Perhaps it is a sense of responsibility to deal with my prejudices and somehow participate in bringing greater justice. A commitment to diversity would hold us responsible, make us do the right thing. Perhaps it is that nagging call to seek wholeness. Given the partiality of all points of view, given the diversity of truth, given our calling to live our lives religiously, given these, a commitment to diversity is nothing more or less than honoring the call to seek wholeness in my life and in our collective life. African-American feminist author-teacher Bell Hooks asks the question this way: what is all this clamoring after difference? All the clamoring is about seeking wholeness. Guilt leads to angry denial and inaction. Responsibility leads to grudging good works. The call to seek wholeness has room for acknowledging feelings of guilt and anger, frustration, room for accepting appropriate responsibility, and plenty of room for moving toward personal and communal transformation. All the clamoring is for each person, each perspective, each truth to be granted sufficient respect so that we truly listen to those ideas and allow ourselves to be truly challenged by them. All the clamoring is for us to recognize that our lives are intertwined, so intertwined that each is accountable to the other. Each particular story, truth, calls us to accountability, calls me to accountability for my life, for my limits, my individual and our collective transformation. All the clamoring is for truth. I need you. I need you, who you are, the experiences and perspective you bring, and what we all can do together for justice. All the clamoring is for justice. We need each other and all that we can do for justice. Let us join together in reading our chalice lighting words, which are in your order of service and on the screen. In the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment, we gather this day. May this flame we now kindle be to us a symbol of the unity we seek. So let's now rise in body or spirit to sing our opening hymn, number 1000 in the Teal hymnal. Morning has come. The words will be on your screen also.
Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring grace to guide our journey home. A new day dawns.
Good morning. It's wonderful to be here today and see so many faces that I recognize from kind of a different role. But it is wonderful to be here, and thank you, Steve, for a wonderful introduction, and to Reverend Tony for asking me to be here today. When I was asked to speak, I was thinking about what could I say and what could I offer to a congregation that's really done so much for Collier County and the community. So over the last 6 months, I've taken a deep dive into Unitarian Universalism in Fort Myers, at the UU in Fort Myers. And a couple of months ago, they asked me to speak, and the theme was inclusion. And I thought that even more so as time goes on, it seems like this issue of what inclusion means and how do we live that becomes more and more important every day. So the question, or the koan for those of you interested in Zen things, is how do I practice inclusion when everything seems to be about exclusion, right? Everything we hear about in the news, all the things that are happening with our government seem to be the opposite of inclusion. And first, I think we need to experience and feel inclusive ourselves, to experience our interconnection with all things at a deep level. And that requires stillness, at least from the Buddhist perspective. It requires stillness, developing an open, grateful, and kind heart, especially with those we disagree with. So today, I thought I would share several practices from the Buddhist tradition that help us do that. So today's going to be kind of a hands-on service, if you will. And I hope it's meaningful for all of you.
Let's all remain seated and join together in singing our centering hymn, Find a Stillness. It's number 352 in the gray hymnal, and the words will be on your screen.
Find a stillness, hold a stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony. Seek the essence, hold the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony.
In every Sunday service, we set aside a time to share personal joys and sorrows. So as we gather in community this morning, let us create a space where all emotions are welcome, a place where we can truly be ourselves. In this sacred time, we honor the fullness of life, its moments of deep joy, and its time of profound sorrow. Each joy we share is a reminder of the beauty and the light that continues to fill our world. and each sorrow shared calls upon the strength of our togetherness, where burdens may be lifted and hearts supported. Let us listen with compassion, speak with honesty, and hold one another in love, knowing that here in this circle, we are never alone. If you have a joy or a sorrow you'd like to share with the congregation, please raise your hand. I'll come to you with a microphone. Please tell us your name and what's in your heart, joys and sorrows. Anyone?
Good morning. My name's Diane Rahman, and I have a joy and a sorrow. My joy is that I've made a very, very good dear friend here, and I've gotten to know her over the last year. And it's my joy that she's found a new place to be, but I'll miss her. So thank you.
Yes, Jane, we're definitely going to miss you. Your presence here is very special. Anyone else? Yes. Oh, yes.
Good morning. My name is Beth, and it's really great to be back. I've been gone probably for about 2 months now because my son's been very sick. My joy is that I think we're on the right track to getting better, and I just wanted to express appreciation to the multiple members of the congregation that visited the hospital and have been very supportive and keeping me lifted up because it's been hard. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Beth. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, my name's Elizabeth Morell, and I had a very interesting Saturday yesterday. I went to Fort Myers UU, and they had a workshop on compassion, and they run a program out of the university there, teaching people compassion, and they have different workshops where they teach, excuse me, World Cafe, where people get together and they, at a small table, they run around and they talk about how what compassion means to them, and then they do real world projects too. So it was very interesting. They're having another meeting on August the 16th, and people are invited to come. It's free and it's nice, and the conversation is wonderful. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Elizabeth. Anyone else? Yes. Thank you. There we go. Hi. Hi, Steve.
Good morning, Vincent Keys. Today I have a real live joy because the NAACP is a strong commitment to improving literacy among all of our young people in the country. We are pleased today to offer a $1,000 college scholarship to award Travis Miguel. Travis is being recognized for his volunteer work. Travis has worked diligently over the past year, helping children to improve their reading proficiency during weekends. Online reading and practicing sessions for young kids. He has been a role model for other local high school students who volunteered as big reading buddies. Travis graduated second in his senior class. He has also earned his AA degree already. He's headed off to Boston now, Boston College, yes, to pursue a pre-med track. as a Gates Foundation scholar with 90% of his Boston College costs already taken care of. We have to thank Dr. McCormick. I don't know where he is around here, but he's probably out on the lanai. Yes, we have to thank him for raising this young man. Bill, come up. Bill. But he is such a great student, and we are just honored to offer this check to you of $1,000. And we wish you well up there in Boston. Make sure you do well, stay focused, and come back and present that degree to Dr. McCormick when you get it. All right? Okay. Very good.
Great. Great news. Yes.
My name is Cheryl Inglis. I just want to say what a wonderful experience was yesterday going to Alcatraz for a spiritual, no signs, but it was all faiths. It was called God is Watching, but it was all faiths. There were Buddhists, UU, priests, ministers, and all 95 degrees under a tent, playing drums, Native American flute. It was just phenomenal. And it's such a spirit there, amidst people selling alligator Alcatraz t-shirts, crazy people right by the entrance. And I was glad police were there because I couldn't, every time I heard a noise and a loud motorcycle, I honestly thought maybe we were going to be shot.
Anyone else?
Hi everyone, my name is Angel, and my joy is that I'm here at this church and I'm here at this church and it's a great church, and I'm thankful for everyone here and that I'm here today and that I can make it, obviously, or I wouldn't be here. May God bless you all.
Thank you, Angel. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your joys and sorrows. At this time, we have meditation.
Eva, who wrote one of the great spiritual works called The Way of the Bodhisattva. And Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh used to say that when we're not grateful, we suffer. In The Way of the Bodhisattva, Shantideva explained how he practiced generating a mind of gratitude. Shantideva would bring to mind those people that had mentored him, that had helped him, had shown him the way, in his life. And he would internally express gratitude to them on a regular basis. And he explained this in The Way of the Bodhisattva, all in verse, kind of spontaneously. And so, he was an 8th century monastic. So what he offered up to his mentors, to the people that had helped him, were kind of relevant for the 8th century. But let me just share a couple of phrases here from his work. I place before the mighty sages perfect objects of my worship. Glorious flowers like lotus and mandavara, the upala and other fragrant blossoms, worked and twined in lovely scented garlands. I will offer swelling clouds of frankincense, whose ambient perfume ravishes the mind, and various foods and every kind of drink, all delicacies worthy of the gods. I will offer up precious lamps arranged in rows on lotuses of gold, a carpet of sweet flowers scattering upon the level incense-sprinkled ground. To those whose very nature is compassion, I will give vast palaces, surrounding with fair praise, all decked with precious pearls and beauteous pendant gems, gleaming jewels that deck the amplitude of space. So, just as an example of how he practiced this, he offered up what was most precious in those times. So, what I would invite us to do today is to do the same. So, I would invite everyone to just close your eyes for a minute and bring to mind those people in your life that have mentored you, that have shown you, that have shown you the way, and visualize those people. And then from your heart, that place where feelings of gratitude and compassion comes from, offer to them the things that are most precious to you. And in today's world, those might be works of art, right? They might be money. It might be our time, our attention. But in a proactive way, we offer to these people that has shown us the way in our life and have helped us in our lives. We offer to them what's most precious to us. And we generate that energy of gratitude. And as we let that visualization dissolve, we might want to just take a moment and see what that feels like, to have intentionally generated gratitude. Has that changed the way we feel and the way our heart is in this moment? For today's reading, I thought I would share a poem that I came across, I think, several years ago now, from Rumi, right? Another spiritual master, I think. And no matter how many times I've read this poem, it grabs me every time I read it. And it reminds me to pay close attention to this mystery that we call our life as it unfolds, and that to be grateful for the unfolding of the mystery, whatever way it unfolds. All right, sometimes it's a happy unfolding, sometimes maybe not so much, but there's a mystery there. The poem is entitled "What Was Told That." Is anybody familiar with this one? It's really a wonderful poem. What was told that? What was said to the rose that made it open was said to me here in my chest. What was told the cypress that made it strong and straight. What was whispered the jasmine, so it is what it is. Whatever made sugarcane sweet. Whatever was said to the inhabitants of the town of Chigil in Turkestan that makes them so handsome. And whatever lets the pomegranate flower blush like a human face, that is being said to me now. I blush. Whatever put eloquence in language, that's happening here. The great warehouse doors open, and I fill with gratitude, chewing a piece of sugarcane, in love with the one to whom every that belongs.
And today we're going to be singing a response together. It's going to be 1031 in the teal hymnal, Filled with Loving Kindness. The words will also be on the screen. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be
So a few months ago, as I said at the beginning of the service, I was invited to lead a service at the UU in Fort Myers, UUCFM. And the theme for that month's service was inclusion. And I was excited about sharing that service because from a Buddhist perspective, there's nothing but inclusion. Indeed, the Buddha's great realization, in large part, was that everything depends on everything else. In Zen, we say that the words are limited. They limit how accurately and how completely we can describe what our experience from moment to moment is. So to say inclusion really doesn't get it. Because to say inclusion presupposes there's something that's excluded. And from the Buddhist perspective, nothing's excluded. And I think that given our country's current political and societal atmosphere, it's more important than ever to remember and practice what the Buddha realized and taught about inclusion. And the Buddha was just an awakened being, died of old age and food poisoning, apparently. But what he experienced was his true nature. And we can call that Buddha nature, we can call it Christ nature, we can call it God nature. But the Buddha taught that our nature is empty of a separate existence. And what that means is that everything is interconnected. Everything depends on everything else. And we are all interconnected. Nothing exists in and of itself, by itself, even though we feel so separated most of the time. And what we hear on the news seems to be about creating more separation every day. Thich Nhat Hanh used to call this interbeing. We inter-are. And I'm not a physicist, but my understanding of physics these days is that it supports this, that everything is interdependent upon everything else. And this isn't limited to people. Modern astronomy, again, I'm not an astronomist, but my limited understanding is that astronomy now is really the study of how they find new planets and bodies out in space is in large part based upon the effect that one thing has on another, millions of light years away. So this is, interconnectedness, interbeing at a large scale, and it's proof that everything is interconnected. And I think we only need to look at our environment to see how true this is, right? What happens in the Amazonian rainforest affects everybody. And then in 2020, someone became ill, maybe in China, and then suddenly the whole world became ill. And the Buddha explained that our nature has two aspects, the relative and the absolute. And from the absolute perspective, like I said, we're all interconnected. We're all made up of separate things. Andy is made up of other things. There's no one piece of me that I can identify as just Andy. Right? Andy's made up of chemicals and electricity and other living things, right? That help me digest food. And this is the nature of everything from an absolute perspective. And when all of these things came together in the right way, here's Andy. He manifested, right? Stephen and I have the same nature. You all have the same nature. And we're all interconnected in that way. And we're all the same that way. The sticky part is that that's true about people we like to be connected to. And it's the same with people that we dislike. And maybe sometimes wish we were disconnected from. So if our and everyone else's true nature is all-inclusive and interdependent, can we really exclude those that we don't agree with? Right? We spend so much time looking at how others are excluding others. But how do we exclude people that we don't agree with? Disliking them or not associating with them does not necessarily separate us, right? Ultimately, we are, in the absolute sense, interconnected. So we inter-are even with those that have entirely different views. It's not optional, unfortunately. And from a relative sense, the Buddha taught that on the other hand, and not even the other hand, but in another sense, in another aspect, in the relative sense, Stephen and I are different people. We've led completely different lives. He's there, I'm over here. We may have very different likes and dislikes. And we can feel completely separated based on our views. So these two aspects of our life, of our reality, they're not two separate things. We don't live in one or the other. We don't live in interconnectedness or in separation. And that's, I think, the great mystery of what our life is. Right? We live in this interconnectedness that also can feel very separate. And how deeply we understand that these aren't two separate aspects of our lives, is the essence of Buddhist practice. And I think at least at UUCFM, one of the shared values that the community has adopted was interdependence, to reflect this. So the question or koan that each of us must try to understand is, how do I live in equanimity and peace, recognizing our inner being, while standing up to the policies and things that we find distasteful? I think it's safe to say that most of us feel the collective anxiety every time we hear about some policy or some action taken that separates our society, that isolates certain people and minimizes their humanity. So how do we work in that area without hating, without despising, right? Or how do we walk the walk, so to speak, without anger and resentment? How did great teachers like Dr. Martin Luther King, Thich Nhat Hanh, how did they do that in the midst of such suffering, turmoil, and separation? And the Buddhist tradition would say that the answer is to engage in practices, right? To train ourselves to realize our interdependence, our inner being. And virtually all traditions also have guidelines, right? Whether we call them precepts or commandments. But they're kind of guidelines or rules for living our life according to some wholesomeness, and to set our intentions to live in that way. In the Buddhist world, we regularly recite the four bodhisattva vows to set our intentions. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to free them. A commitment to endlessly serve all beings, not just some, not just the ones I like, all beings. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to transform them. We make a commitment to endlessly search for truth. Practice paths are boundless. I vow to study them. A commitment to endlessly deepen our understanding. And the enlightened way is incomparable. I vow to embody it. A commitment to endlessly walk the path of understanding and love. Like in all traditions I know, there are also precepts against killing, stealing, lying, these fundamental truths. And approaching these intentions and guidelines as living practices to experience and train ourselves in, not just intellectually understand them, is essential. Regularly practicing gratitude like we did, compassion, mindfulness are also fundamental to living a meaningful and peaceful life, especially during times like these. During my 6 years in public office, which is a whole other thing to talk about, I found that the practice of metta, or loving kindness meditation, was really transformational. It's a practice that helps us develop the kind of heart, kind of mind that is open and loving to all beings, regardless of whether I'd agreed with them or not. It's a practice that helps us experience and live our inner being nature, free from picking and choosing who I like, who I dislike. It's a kind of practice that helped to reduce the difficulties of being in public office during the pandemic, which gave rise to so much distrust, separation, fear, anxiety. And it also made me look at maybe the most insidious kind of exclusion that affected, I think, most of us. And that was the attitude of, I'm just not going to talk to them, right? Whichever way we agreed with or we didn't agree with, right? The I'm not going to talk to them because they're crazy, or they won't listen, right? That's a kind of exclusion that I think permeated just about everything. So today, I'd like to share this practice with you. Again, this is a hands-on service today. So again, I would ask everyone just to close your eyes. As Thich Nhat Hanh used to say, in order for there to be a peaceful world and a loving world, we have to start by being peaceful and loving ourselves. So we always begin this practice with ourselves. So what I ask you to do is to visualize yourself standing in front of you just the way you are. And again, from our heart center, we can send the energy of loving kindness, and we can say to ourselves, may I be happy. May I be healthy and free of injury. May I know love in my life. May I be free of anger, resentment, fear, and anxiety. May I be free of attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent. And next, we can bring to mind someone we love. A spouse, a family member, a partner, even a pet. And to this being, we extend the same energy, and we say to them silently, may you be happy. May you be healthy and free of injury. May you know love in your life. May you be free of anger, resentment, fear, and anxiety. And may you be free of attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent. And next, we can bring to mind someone we don't know, someone we saw at the grocery store, someone we passed on the street. And to this person that we don't know, that we have no relationship with, we say to them, and we send them the same energy. May you be happy. May you be healthy and free of injury. May you know love in your life. May you be free of anger, resentment, fear, and anxiety. And may you be free of attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent. And last, and maybe most importantly, we bring this to mind someone that we have a negative relationship with. Someone we feel has wronged us, maybe someone we hate. And even to this person, we send the same energy. And we say, may you be happy. May you be healthy and free of injury. May you know love in your life. May you be free of anger, resentment, fear, and anxiety. And may you be free of attachment and aversion, but not be indifferent. As we let that visualization dissolve, we can take a moment to experience what that's like. What it's like to have an open and caring heart that's open to everyone, not just those that we love. So in closing, I'd like to leave a few questions. What would our lives be like if we related to everyone with loving kindness, without picking and choosing who we love and who we don't? How different would our disagreements be if we didn't feel so separated from those we disagree with? Would our disagreements, because we'll still have disagreements, would our disagreements be different if we started from a place of connection instead of separation? And how different could our world be if we each understood and practiced inclusiveness like this? Amen. And blessed be.
Thank you, Sensei Andy. I don't know about you, but I really needed that today. At this time, and in the spirit of gratitude, we come to a part of our service where we can participate together again, being mindful of all that our beloved community provides, both within these walls and far beyond them. This offering is a reflection of our deep appreciation for the transformative power of this congregation. With every act of generosity, we support not only the growth of our own souls, but also the many hands that reach outward, touching lives in our wider community with kindness, hope, and love. If you are watching on Facebook Live or viewing later on our YouTube channel, please consider sending your offering to the address given on your screen. Our ushers may come forward.
Far beyond the grasp of hands, or light to meet the eye, past the reaches of the mind, there find the key to nature's harmony in an architecture so entwined. Like the birds whose patterns grace the sky, the message of peace will rise in flight, taking the weight of the world upon its wings. In the oneness of everything. Peace is in the dance of trees who stir before the first breath of wind is yet perceived. Trust in the song becoming one with the dance, and all mysteries can be believed. Songs of lives long past that touch our own are written in the earth ever giving, and now to maintain the harmony that gives to us all lives worth living, for the oneness of everything. Still we seek to find a truth that we might understand and reduce to terms define. Vast and immeasurable time and space, also overwhelmingly designed. Oh, passing years just might know the faith that winters in the heart to be reborn in spring, to hear and to feel the pulse of life that enters my soul as a song to sing of the oneness of everything.
Jeez, thank you. That's just gorgeous. Real quick, a few announcements to make. Right after the service at 11:30 in Thomas Hall, John Murtaugh of Secure Community Network returns with a dynamic presentation countering active threat training, Run, Hide, Fight. This program is hosted by UUCGN and the Naples Jewish Congregation. This is being held, like I said, in Thomas Hall. Registration was required, but there is room if you'd like to attend, 11:30. Aging Wisely on Thursday, July 24th at 2 p.m. Life is in the Transitions. Based on the work of Bruce Feiler, author of the book, Life is in the Transitions, most of us go through multiple changes throughout our lifetime, and many experience the convergence of multiple changes, which Feiler terms life quakes. Ann Fisher, LCSW, a psychotherapist who specializes in aging, facilitates the group. If you have any questions, please contact Ann at annfisher3@gmail.com. Also, our Social Justice Committee is sponsoring a summer project for Guadalupe Center Classroom with school supplies. Please visit the Social Justice webpage for the wish list, and collection box is in the foyer. Now, please join in our closing hymn, For All That Is Our Life, number 128 in the gray hymnal, right? Please rise in body or spirit.
For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks for all that is our life. For sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks for all that is our life. For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise, for all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
And in closing today's service, I'd like to share another teaching from Shantideva. This is from the dedication, where he dedicates all of his practice and all of his efforts. And he says, "May the blind receive their sight. May the deaf begin to hear. And may women near their time bring forth free from travail. May the naked now be clothed, and the hungry eat their fill. May those parched with thirst receive pure waters and delicious drink. May the poor and destitute find wealth, the haggard and careworn joy. May those who now in despair be whole in mind, endowed with sterling constancy. May every being ailing with disease be freed at once from every malady. May every sickness that afflicts the living be wholly and forever absent from the world. May those who grow in dread have no more fear. May captives be unchained and now set free. And may the weak receive their strength. May living beings help each other in kindness. And now, as long as space endures, as long as there are beings to be found, may I continue likewise to remain, to drive away the sorrows of the world." Amen. Thank you.